In today's video, I'm going to cover a topic from one of my subscribers. So shout out right away to Jav Dahad, if I'm pronouncing that. I'll put that in the description if you want to see who the subscriber is. So thank you for this. And he asked me to do a video on the consequences of being too available. So this video, I'm going to be covering the 5 consequences of being too available. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and a notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, shout out to Javi Dahad. And I'm sorry for butchering your name, bro, but I think that's how your name is pronounced. Okay. So he said, look, can you talk about, and I'm just looking at my notes here. He says, can you talk about losing your value and importance when you're too accessible and that being scarce is better for relationships? Okay, so I'm going to go over these 5 things pretty quick. This is going to be a shorter video. And here's the thing. Women naturally lose interest over time. And you may not know this, but in 5 years into a marriage, on average, 5 years into a marriage, the woman's desire for her husband drops off a cliff, like literally, boom. The husband's desire for her slowly declines, but it's not the same off a cliff like it is for a woman. Women just, by nature are hypergamous. They're always seeking the best option. And if a man doesn't continue to hold his masculine frame, even while he's in the relationship, she will lose desire for him. And it's just a fact with what I just mentioned about the 5 years after a marriage. So here are the 5 consequences of being too available. All right. So number 1, which is an obvious one, she will lose interest. So an example of being too available is she texts you and you are on that like a fly on ship. She texts you, and I don't care how beautiful she is. And you do not always respond right away. I get it if you're trying to make a plan and she's like, what time are you going to be there? I'm going to be 5 minutes late. And she's expecting you to reply because she's a little anxious that she's of where she's going and stuff like that. Okay, that's different. But I mean, in general, if she says, hey, how's your day going? You don't have to feel like you have to reply right away, especially if you're busy working on your stuff, right? But if you do, that's a consequence. If you do, all the time she texts you and you respond right away ASAP, you're not impressing her, bro. In fact, she's going to lose interest because she's going to think this guy has nothing fucking better to do. He's not working on his purpose. He's not busy. And women love busy men. And they love thinking that he might be out on a date or something. Like sometimes I just start dating somebody and we're going to see each other in another weekend and it's a Friday night and she sends me a text at 9:30. And she's like, hey, how was your day? Sometimes I'm out just with some friends, or maybe I am on another date and I will see the text and I'm like, nah, I'll get back to them the next day. They love that stuff. And I know they hate it, but they love it because they're like, oh, maybe he was out on a date. Oh, he's busy. Don't be that guy that constantly getting back to her so damn fast, okay? That's what I'm talking about, being too available. So number 1, she will lose interest. Number 2, this is a big thing. She will lose respect for you. Again, this all goes back to if he's an alpha male, if he's the top of the cream of the creme, right? The top high value man, he's busy. High value men are busy. They're making money. They're at the gym. They've got friends. They're busy with their hobbies. They're like, balling. That's what I'm talking about. So if you're too available all the time, that's what's going to happen. It's happened to me, man. I'm guilty of this too from before. She will lose respect for you. Number 3, she will cheat. And that's the worst of it, that she will cheat because now she's bored because you're so damn reliable all the time. You're so available all the time. And she's like, well, how could he possibly be high value if he's just always on me when I ask him a question by text or I want to see him and he drops every fucking thing he's doing and he's like, oh, okay, sure, I can see you tonight. Like, I know this is hard to actually imagine, but sometimes you have to purposely not see her so that you don't show that you're so available. Like, even if you have fucking nothing going on, it's just keeping the fire burning, right? That song, Keep the Fire Burning. Okay, 4, she will start taking the lead. Yeah, that happened in my marriage, bro. I was married before, 20 years, single now 2.5 years. I'm just telling it to you that when you allow these things, you're too available, she will just naturally start taking a leadership role, which is, you're dead at that point. Like, you're finished. So that's number 4. Number 5, and I guess this is actually the worst thing, she will leave you. Out of all the divorces, 70% of all divorces are filed by the woman. And you know why they're filed by the woman? Because it's the guy's fault, ultimately, right? If a guy was a high value man, truly, he would identify all the red flags. He would know she's already checked out, and he would file first. All right. It took me a long time to get to that point, but I was the first to leave my relationship and on my journey to, building up my self-esteem again. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to create this channel, because I was like, shit, I learned a lot throughout my marriage. I had some successes. Obviously, I was married, and then I had some failures, and then in dating, by the way, in the last 2.5 years, I've been on hundreds of first dates. It's easier for me to date now as an older guy than it was in my 20s. But one of the reasons why I get so many dates is because of the things I talk about in my videos. I've had to learn this stuff, and that not being too available. Like, for example, I have a couple of women that, are going on a few dates with here and there right now in my pool, to call it that. And if I send them a message like let's say they say good morning to me, and then I text them back and I say, oh, good morning to you as well, I hope you have a great day. That's it. I'm not texting them for the rest of the day. May not even text them tomorrow. In fact, may not even text them for 2 or 3 days. And you know what always happens? They text me, but subconsciously in their mind are like, this guy is high value because he's busy and he's not making me a priority all the time. All right. So let me know in the comments what you do to make sure you're not too available. I want to hear from you. And if you ever have any other ideas, like this subscriber, for future videos that I could do for you. All right. Have a great day. Thanks.